All right, what's up guys? Jimmy Chang here. My son Ethan, we're on the one wheel and electric unicycle. Today we're meeting up with Andrew again, the scooter guru. What's up, Andrew?
How's it going, Jimmy?
What is this, the Emove?
The Emove Cruiser, the updated version of it.
She rides a scooter too.
Oh, she has a scooter too, huh? Our violinist friend has a scooter as well.
It's old, you know, and it's slow and everything, you know. But it works. Like if you transport, like if you need some transportation every single day,
yeah,
it worth to buy that, you know, because you save loads of money and time as well, because you don't have to wait for buses or like trains, you know. So,
yeah,
exactly.
Very cool. We love scooters. We're reviewing this scooter right now, and so we saw, and I really enjoy your music too. Thank you. Have you ever done a ton of research on a product only to find out after you purchased it that there were still things about that product that you wish you'd known before you purchased it? Well, today we're going to be talking about the Emove Cruiser. Before we jump into the full review with Andrew, I want to share with you 10 things that I think you should know before you buy this scooter. So let's get started. Number one, it's not waterproof. It's water resistant. There's a lot of misconceptions out there. It's easy to interchange the two words, but they're not the same. This is not a waterproof scooter. It's water resistant. It's got an IPX6 water resistant rating. The second thing you should know is the warranty does not cover water damage. We put the Emove Cruiser through its paces, washed it, sprayed it, and it survived. It did just fine. But just like your iPhone, it's water resistant and not waterproof, and the warranty doesn't cover water damage. So ride in water at your own risk. To prevent water damage, make sure that all the ports are covered and all the screws are tight, and that there's no damage to the body that could cause water ingress. For a commuter scooter, this is definitely on the heavier side. It weighs 52 pounds. Like many scooters, the bolts can come loose over time. So make sure to check those bolts regularly and use Loctite to make sure those bolts are fastly secured. The other thing you should know is the lights. They're just not that great. The headlight is weak and it's low to the ground, and the turn signals, they're pretty useless. A few of the pros that I wanted to tell you about: they have great customer support, at least where we got this scooter from, Voro Motors. Over time, some of our screws got loose, some screws fell out, and we lost them. So we contacted Voro Motors, and we were able to get the parts that we needed right away. I mean, imagine buying a scooter from Alibaba overseas and trying to explain to them which bolt you were missing or which screw you needed. With Voro Motors, it was very easy. I'm really happy that we finally have defined water resistance rating, so we know exactly what kind of water type conditions it can handle. The other thing I love about this is the wide, spacious deck. Larger riders will also enjoy the increased weight capacity for this at 352 pounds. And finally, I do really like the quick folding mechanism, perfect for riders on the go. That's my quick and dirty summary. Let's get into the full review from Andrew.
So a lot of people have been asking, is their scooter waterproof? And unfortunately, most scooters are not waterproof. If you get water in the battery compartment, it could be kaput for your scooter, and that could be it. That's probably the most expensive piece to replace on your scooter. This has an IPX6 rating, so you can actually wash it down. I've washed it down a few times, and surprisingly enough, it works perfectly fine after it. The ultra large deck on this scooter. It's got a really big deck. It's really hard to actually comprehend when you just look at it on videos, but it's wider than my whole hand right here. So pretty big. I don't have the biggest hands, but I'd say that's a pretty wide deck. Don't mind the goose poop though. I kind of walked into that coming out here.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of being able to wash it, right? You could even just bring this into the shower with you or hose it down. You can just hose it down and get that goose poop right off and not have to worry about it.
Exactly. The other thing that's really huge about this is the range on it. Ginger on Wheels actually got 52 miles of range on the scooter at 13 miles per hour, which I was very impressed at. For only being 52 pounds, it can actually hold up to 352 pounds, which is super impressive. I find a lot of scooters on the bottom have a lot of plastic on it, but if you look at the bottom of the scooter, it's actually a full metal body. And they also have a really awesome new color variation to it. It comes in orange, white, black, and purple. It's got a keyed entry on here, and it actually has a nice little USB thing on the very bottom of it as well, so you can actually charge items with it. I see on a lot of scooters how handlebars fold is you have to unscrew it and then fold them down, where this one has no unscrewing. You just actually pull on it and it drops right there real quickly for you. And then when you're pulling it out of a car, it's actually really nice because it's all compressed. To pull it out of a car, you can just pull it up like this, lock this into place, and then slap that in, and you're ready to go. It's actually got some pretty good suspension. It's not huge suspension, really designed for a lot of off-roading, but when you're cruising around the city, imperfections on the sidewalk, little potholes, this thing performs very well and actually has a pretty decent amount of give on there. Keyed entry with a volt reader, so it can show you when your battery's gonna die.
How easy is it to fold this thing?
Okay, perfect. So first things first, I would just pull these things down, compress this, and then this is another thing too that you want to give a little bit of a jingle, is this thing is a little bit tough to pull, but if you give this a little bit of a wiggle, it'll just slide right down easily. You really want to pick it up towards this top part, and that's where you got your main balance. Because if you pick it up right here in the middle,
it's not gonna be balanced.
You'll see it kind of weighs it down.
Let me pick this up.
A little bit easier towards the handlebar.
Right.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, yeah, so that's doable. I mean, for the amount of weight that this thing can carry in terms of load capacity and the range, I think that's very fair weight. Plus you're getting the suspension. Let's see you unfold this thing.
This is one of the best parts, is it can actually unfold extremely quickly. Just pop that thing up, pull that thing, give it a little whirl, and you're good to go. So that's actually one of the more impressive things, because normally setting up a scooter with folded handlebars, I find it typically takes me about 30 seconds to a minute, where this one literally just takes a few seconds.
Now that we've kind of given you an overview of the Emove Cruiser, let's give it a spin.
Some of the key differences that they've added onto this scooter compared to the previous model of the Emove Cruiser is they've made it semi-hydraulic brakes. They've added these little connectors so you don't actually have to rewire things if you have anything go wrong. You can just plug and play it in. I believe this is new, that they've added this keyed entry as well. The bigger tires, it went from I believe a 2.5 or 2.2 inch wide tire to a 2.7 inch tire. The previous model had tubes in it. This is actually a tubeless pneumatic tire now, and it's also a Xiaoyang tire, which is really nice and soft on the pavement. The other benefit as well is the waterproof rating that they added to it. And what's really interesting about this scooter, and even the Emove in general, is the Emove is essentially the exact same scooter as the Speedway 4 scooter, but I think Mini Motors charges an extra $400 for that scooter, and it doesn't have as big of a battery, and it's not waterproof. So kind of interesting that you get a whole bunch of more extra features, and it's $400 cheaper than the competitor. One of the cons is going to be the square handlebars. It's hard to attach attachments to it. You can actually order a rounded handlebar from Voro Motors, but there is also adapters that you can use to attach it to the square handlebar. This can get you up hills, but if you're heavier, it's going to go very, very slow up any type of steep incline. I think you really need a much brighter headlight if you're going to be doing any type of night riding. The turn signals are very hard to see during the day. And almost hard to see during the night as well too. Turn signal has an audible when you turn it on. And the other thing is the stem specifically. And it's only when you're traveling at higher speeds and you come to a really quick stop, the stem and the suspension, since it compresses, it moves the stem forward, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but ultimately most scooters that are single stem, when you're riding very fast and you come to a steep or a very fast stop with front suspension, it is going to do the same thing. Yeah, the pros on the scooter is going to be obviously the waterproof rating on it. The long range, these tires are great for street riding because they're tubeless and pneumatic. The wide deck and the weight capacity, those are probably the biggest pros to this scooter. So here's the horn. What's interesting too is this is where the horn is from the light as well. The easiest way I find is to grab it up towards the top for the weight distribution and then back it into the car. Then you can grab this front area and just wheel it back into your car. Perfect.
No electric scooter is perfect, but the Emove Cruiser is a long-range commuter cruiser with a wide spacious deck and a water resistance rating that will appeal to many riders. If you're interested in purchasing the new Emove Cruiser, consider using our affiliate link from Voro Motors. Proceeds go towards supporting our website and YouTube channel, and there's a 7% discount for you if you use the code GOTSCOOTER. Speaking of our website, our full review can be found on our website, gotscooter.com. Consider subscribing if you found anything of value in this video. Thanks for watching, and remember to wear your safety gear.